Now, this is the application form for the Surrey and Sussex Healthcare NHS Trust. On this area, it will be MSI Group with Staff Nurse Band 5 put in there. As you go down, please put your title, your surname, your first name, and any middle names you may have. Now, in your local country, if the name in which you are registered with your professional body is different from the name on your passport, which will be over here, please put that name over here. If it is the same, just simply put N/A, which means non-applicable. Also, if you don't have any middle names, just put N/A. You wouldn't have a UK national insurance number, so please put in N/A. If you do, in which case put it down. But if you don't, just put it as N/A. Put your address there and your postal code, i.e. your zip code. If you don't have a postcode in your country, that refers to your address. Simply put N/A. Put the country in which you're based in. And then put your mobile telephone number if you have a UK one. If you don't, just put in N/A. Please, on the application form, try not to leave any blanks. Instead of putting a blank there, leaving it as blank, put in N/A. Your telephone number, if you don't have one, put in N/A. Your work telephone number, if you don't have one, put in N/A. In the eventuality where you have none of these telephone numbers, you can leave this area blank, as it gives you the option to check all three, but as none applies to you, you'll leave that blank and put in your email address. We'll ask you, are you a United Kingdom, European Community or European Economic Area national? If you are not, just tick no. If you are, tick yes. Now, in the next section, we'll ask, please select the category that refers to your current immigration status. This status will be subject to checking before interview. Now, you'll only fill this area if you have checked in no for this area over here, where it says, are you a United Kingdom, European Community or European Economic Area national? Now, for this area, you will tick Work Permit Tier 2. Over here where it says, please select the category that relates to your immigration status. This status will be subject to checking before interview. Please tick here, Work Permit Tier 2. Area over here where it says, please supply details of any visa currently held. If you do not have one, where it says visa number, put it in N/A. Then underneath here it will say, and that's the next question, does your visa have a condition restricting employment or occupation in the UK? You will tick no. Are you Are you an NHS professional returning to practice? If you have never worked in the UK NHS before, just tick no. Leave that. It will leave this area blank. And then it will ask about your education and professional qualifications. Now, you'd put in your degree, where it says subject to qualification, or your diploma, where it says subject to qualification. The place of study, the grade you received, and the year that you obtained it. Now, if you have a degree and a diploma, you'd put the diploma in the next line, putting the place of study, the grade of result you achieved, and the year in which you obtained it. So this area here refers to your nursing qualification. Where it says relevant training courses attended, simply put in N/A. Then it will ask you membership of professional bodies. Over here, please tick UK professional registration and license to practice required and applied for. In the next section where it says, if you have answered, I have current UK professional registration relevant for this post, or I have a current UK professional registration and license to practice for this post, then please enter the relevant details below. Unless you're fully registered with the NMC in the UK, just simply put here N/A. When you register with the NMC in the UK, as in you've been in the UK, you're working, you have your PIN in the UK. If you don't, just simply put in here N/A. Now, the next question, are you currently subject to a fitness to practice investigation or proceedings by a licensing or regulatory body in the UK or in any other country? If you are not, just tick no. Next question is, have you ever been removed from the register or have conditions or undertakings been made on your registration by a fitness to practice committee or licensing or regulatory body in the UK or in any other country? If you haven't, just tick no. Here it says, if applicable, please provide details of any conditions or undertakings currently applied to your professional registration. If these two questions were not applicable to you, simply leave this area blank. In your current, and this is the next question, in your current or any previous employment, have you had restrictions placed on your clinical practice as part of your revalidation process? If you haven't, just tick no. Now when it comes to employment history, ask, please confirm what you believe to be an effective start date of continuous NHS service. If you do not have one, just put in N/A. Now it will say month since recent employment ended. If you've recently left your employment, put in the amount of months. If you're still at your place of employment, just put in N/A. No. Your current or most recent employment. Please put the day, the month and the year in which you started, and the day, the month and the year in which you finished. When it says contract duration, leave that area blank. Put the name of the employer, the address of the employer, type of business they are. When it comes to the postcode or zip code, it refers to address. If you do not have postcode or zip code in your country, just put in N/A. If you do, put in the postcode or zip code. Put the name of your educational or clinical supervisor. Put in their title, their email address. If you don't have it, just put in N/A in reference to the email address. Then you put in the title that you had at your place of employment. Your current or basic salary, you can leave that area blank by putting in N/A. Speciality, you'll put in N/A. Your subspecialty, you'll put in N/A as well. Put in the hospital you were based at. When it says contract type, you can put in other. And if you have left there, you can put in your reasons for leaving as end of contract or the reason why you left. If you are still there, and at the top here, when it comes to end date, you're still there. Here, the end date, you'll put in present. And when it asks your reason for leaving, because you're still there, you'll simply put in N/A. Underneath, it will ask for a brief description of your duties and responsibilities. Put in, please, your duties and your responsibilities. Now, if your previous employer, please put in the necessary information. Now, for some of you, you might have done national service, in which you would have worked at maybe 2 or 3 hospitals, or you'd have 1 year experience where you are working at multiple hospitals. Please put all the information in for the previous hospitals, putting in the dates which you started, the date in which you ended, information as shown previously. Where it is blank, put in not applicable. Putting in the reasons for leaving and a brief description of your duties and responsibilities. Where it says your current contract type, you can put in other. If it was a rotational post, you can tick there. But ideally, if it wasn't a rotational post, just put in other, and then just type in the reasons for leaving and explain it. Also doing the same if you've had another employer. If maybe you've been working for a number of years and you've had previous employment, just put in the name of the employers that you have had. Now, if you've had gaps in employment for more than 6 months or more in the past 5 years, please put in information as requested here. So here it says, please provide in this section explanations for any gaps in your employment history. For any gaps in employment of 6 months or more over the past 5 years, please include contact details or any professional mentor or educational supervisor can verify the reason for the gap and if necessary provide you with an appropriate reference for the period not worked. So for the gaps that you would have had for more than 6 months, please put information there as to why that gap was, and someone who could give you a reference to verify the reason in which that gap occurred. Now this will be the area to put in your references. Tick whether the reference is an employer, an educational reference, or a personal reference. Now, employer reference would be like a hospital you've worked at, someone more senior than you. You'd put their title, their surname, and their first name. If you have a relationship with them, so maybe your supervisor might be your sister or your uncle, you'll put that in. If it's not, leave that blank. Put in N/A. The employer name, you would put that in. The job title, and you would put in the address, the postcode or the zip code if it applies in your country. If it doesn't, you'll put in N/A. The telephone number, the country in which they're in, and then you'll be asked, can the referee be contacted prior to interview? Tick yes. We'll do the same for your second reference as well. Whether the employer, they're an educational one or a personal one, you'll put that information. You'll put the information in there also. Where it asks, can the referee be contacted prior to interview? Please tick yes. Two references are enough. If you want to add a third, it's okay, but 2 references are enough. Here it says, if you have applied to us within the last 3 months in the same grade and speciality, are you happy for us to use references from your early application? This wouldn't apply to you, so just leave this area blank. Now, supporting information. This is an opportunity for you to talk about yourself. Here it says in this section you need to demonstrate that you have read the published person's specification and how you meet the essential and, where relevant, describe the criteria for this particular post if this has not been fully covered in the previous section. Please include your reasons for applying and take the opportunity to highlight your particular talents and strengths. What you feel you can personally offer, what is unique to you, what sets you apart from your peers. Please do not include personal details or duplicate information already provided elsewhere in your application. Maximum 1,000 words. So this is a section where you can talk about your strengths and abilities and things that are unique to you, and what sets you apart from your peers. This is an opportunity here for you to talk about yourself. Now, where it says preferred employment type, please tick full-time. And when it asks, where did you see this vacancy advertised, please tick other. No. It'll ask for your date of birth, please put it in. Please indicate your gender, please put that in. Your marital status, please answer. Your sexual orientation, please put that in as well. Now, lesbian means you're a female sexually attracted to another female. Gay means you're a male sexually attracted to another male. And bisexual means you're a male or female that is sexually attracted to someone of the same sex as you and someone of the opposite sex to you. Heterosexual means you're a male that's sexually attracted to females, or you're a female sexually attracted to males. If you do not want to disclose this, you can tick I do not wish to disclose. Your ethnic origin, please also answer. Your religion or belief, please also answer. If you feel to not answer these, you can tick I do not wish to disclose this. And for religion or belief as well, you can also tick I do not wish to disclose this. Ask, do you consider yourself to have a disability? Tick yes or no, but if you feel you do not want to disclose this, please tick I do not wish to disclose this. Underneath it says, if you have a disability, do you wish to be considered under the guaranteed interview scheme if you meet the minimum criteria as specified in the person specification? This area you'd leave it blank. If when asked, do you consider yourself to have a disability, it's no, you will leave this area blank. You would also leave this area blank where it says, please state the type of impairment which applies to you. People may experience more than one type of impairment, in which case you may indicate more than one. If none of the categories apply, please mark other. If you have ticked no as to not having a disability, you would leave these areas blank. Now, we ask, are you currently bound over or do you have any current unspent convictions or cautions, including reprimands or warnings, that you have been issued by a court or court-martial in the United Kingdom or in any other country? If you have, tick no. If you have, please give information. Also ask, are you currently bound over or do you have any convictions or cautions, including warnings and reprimands, which are not deemed protected under the amendment of the Exceptions Order 1975 issued by a court or court-martial in the United Kingdom or in any other country? If you don't, tick no. If it's yes, please give information. Tick yes and then give information. Next we'll ask, are you currently bound by any barring decision made by the Disclosure and Barring Service from working with children? Now, the Disclosure and Barring Service is a service provider in the UK. If you have no restrictions from them, please tick no. The next question asks, are you currently bound by any barring decision made by the Disclosure and Barring Service from working with vulnerable adults? Yet again, if the Disclosure and Barring Service haven't put any such restrictions on you, just tick no. Now, at the Surrey and Sussex Healthcare Trust, if there is a director or an employee that is related to you there, please state. If not, please put in not applicable. The declaration section will ask, the information in this form is true and complete. I agree that any deliberate omission, falsification, or misrepresentation in the application form will be grounds for rejecting this application or subsequent dismissal if employed by the organization. Where applicable, I consent that the organization can seek clarification regarding professional registration details. Do you agree to this? On this application form, please sign here, put in your name and the date. With this application form, please fill it on the computer. Don't print it out and write. Filling it out on the computer makes it a lot more clearer to be understood. An additional bit of information I also want to add is, when it comes to supporting information, it's an opportunity to talk about yourself. We found that when people do the application form on the computer, they can tend to be lazier in writing about themselves and put it down in fewer words. Please try to put as much information in this section, supporting information, as you can. Please fill it online. Thanks.